Hello, 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 divine ones. Welcome. Today, the guides are going to be sharing a really important message, they say, and they wish to talk about rebirth and being reborn. Dear ones, what does it mean to be reborn? A rebirth, if you like. A rebirth into a higher frequency, a higher dimension, if you like. Into a realization of who you are and what you are. Because what you are is everything. And this everything, we will explain more. But this one, this everything, holds one frequency, one tone, one song, one consciousness, is seeking out to manifest in many ways, which we have said before. And it is time, if you say yes, for you to be rebirth, reborn, into this higher frequency. Another way said is to realize this frequency is actually you. And it is all the things that we've talked about before, the ideas and beliefs and the human form that keep you heavy and vibration lower. But as we've said before, all this is changing. Evolution, humanity is changing. Systems are being dismantled. As we've said before, the financial, political, wealth, education, food and agriculture, everything, your sports teams, all the ways that you think about life, and what is life and enjoyment, and what makes life worth living, what equals success, all these ideas. They say it like this, bye-bye, because there is something much greater for you. We know that you may think that going to Chili's, going to Chili's on a Friday night, beers after work, vacations, this is the height of, or the pinnacle of life. These different these different like milestones, these different ways of creating enjoyment. And we don't say there's anything wrong with it. We say that actually, dear one, there's something even more blissful than beers on a Friday night. Than vacation on a yacht, beach, there is something much more than this. Than your degrees, than your accolades. There's something much more than this. And you, my dear, are much more than this. And this is really what we wish to express, because as we've talked about before, there is really this idea that you are your accomplishments, you are your success, you are the story that you tell about yourself, or you are the story that others tell about you, and you create a life based on this, and you create your worth based on this, or your lack of worth based on these stories and ideas. And so while there is nothing wrong with going on a vacation, putting your feet up, and appreciating your degrees that you worked hard for, while there's nothing wrong with this, we say that it is not in these actions, but it is in the intentions and the worth that are behind these actions, and the way that you strengthen your identity, the way that you continue to know yourself through stories, that creates the issue and that keeps you in this lower vibration. Because whenever you are identified with the personality self alone, and by that we mean when you believe you are your thoughts, when you believe the stories that you have told and others tell, and you believe that so the degrees on your wall are who you are, and that success means what you have been told collectively success means, or even culturally what success means. Okay, you find that none of this is actually true. But it's when you relate to yourself as such that you create a lower container for yourself. You are already in a container. This physical body is a container. So you could think about it like this. Like leftovers. The container is empty. And then, and actually they're telling me something else, and I'm just going to go to it now. So first there is just empty. Completely empty. Just one, we will say it like this today. Vibrational wave, just one pulse, one heartbeat. There's just one consciousness energy, and it comes into or there becomes an agreement to a human form, or an alignment to a human form, because a human form creates much opportunity. Is a great gift, dear one. And as you are in agreement to come to human form, you become a container. Now we wish to go back to the Tupperware container. And we could think about the body in this way, is a container, which is vast and empty. And but as you are born, your society, your caregivers, your friends, your media, now they're showing me everything, like in a blink of an eye. They're showing me like newspapers everywhere, and magazines, models, and scrolling social media, all this, when you take the picture and you alter it, all this fakeness. All this fakeness. And they're going to say it. Fake news. Fake worries. Fake bodies. And they're doing it like this. When you alter a picture, your body is a beautiful container, and its size is not of relevance, an importance to the being, being, be in, to the being that you are, your wrinkles, your size, irrelevant, has no bearing on how brilliant you are, how vast, powerful, and full. You are never broken or less than. You are always full. And our message is always to remind you to tap back into this container. As you are born, it is empty. Full of potential. This beautiful energy. So full of potential. What happens is society, parents wish to fill your container. You know why? Because they have been told, you are a container. You are a Tupperware. You are a ceiling. Ziploc. It doesn't matter. Your parents believe, society believes, that this container must be filled. What is it being filled with? It's being filled with identity. You are this, you are that. We wish you to be this and that because we didn't have this and that, or because our parents or And it's like our culture was like this, and now we wish to turn our back on our culture, or we wish to turn our back on what our parents did. Now we wish to do it in a whole new way. You're still doing it in the same cycle. You're saying, okay, I didn't like this aspect, so now I'm going to do it in a whole new way. Or you might say, this is tradition. So tradition is you eat plum pudding. Here you go, plum pudding in the container. Tradition is that you must eat Christmas cookies, Easter eggs. You must put your tooth under the pillow. Tooth fairy. You, or a boy, you must play the sports like this, and you are a girl, pretty princess. Shh. Be quiet. They say no. No. No to all. Anyway, gender doesn't matter. You're free to express, although we understand that you don't feel that way, and that society has created the conditions in which people do not feel safe to express freely. But we wish you to tap in, be reborn. This is not religious. This is not what you would call a dogma. You don't need to follow a path, water, like a baptize or a none of this. Your container, which was once vast, held so much potential, and the biggest potential it held was to know the vastness of it, to know the emptiness of it, to know the purity of it. But you see, you've been told the purpose of the container is to shove it full of stuff. Whether it's food, we use this idea, but we could also say it as put the container full of the winter clothes, or the summer clothes that you are no longer wearing. The things that you have outgrown, instead of letting them go, let us put them in the container and save them. How many things do you have in your closet, your drawers, your house, for later at another time when you are going to fit into them or need them? And you can do what you like, but we say, dear one, it's like holding on to a past identity. We don't tell you what to do, but we say, are you, we ask you to contemplate this idea. Are you waiting for a past version of yourself to arise? Or are you waiting for a future version of yourself when you will be better than the version you are now? Or maybe your future self is back. Oh, this is, I just want to get back to how I was before. I remember how I was back then. I want to get back to that. And they're saying, it's so much a confusion and attachment. To the past, to the future, rather than right now, and the being that you are right now. We don't tell you go throw out all your stuff, but we don't tell you to keep it either. We don't tell you anything. We bring a vibration, a tone that reminds you to be, just be who you are. Not the personality, the being that you are. The empty space inside the container. This is a real ultimate message. Because before you were this, you were all of this. all of it. So understand it. We say it again. Because before you were this small, this containered self, you were vast. And none of these things like the wrinkles and your hair and or lack of hair, none of these things mattered. However, society has told you as such. Because and now they're talking to those that identify as men, because they're showing me and saying to me, this is universal. Men with a razor on like shaving their body. You can do what you want, but they say also, you're beautiful as you are. All your hair, all of it, or lack of it, it doesn't matter. So they're saying, like if you have a lack of it, beautiful. And if you have so much, you think it's too much, you're not too much. Nobody's too much. We would say that you have limited yourself into believing that you're too much, and we would say that you also believe you're not enough. You are so vast. So the container and is filled, and of course when it's filled, the people that have passed this down had no idea that that a container could just be, and did not need to be filled with a bunch of outdated things, with a bunch of stuff that you might eat later, with a bunch of clothes you might never wear. But this is the idea. So that's what they did. They did what they knew, just like you do what you know. Just keeps getting passed down. No one ever thought, this is a container that doesn't need to be filled. This container is so full right now. No, because they look down and they've been told, container, fill it. That's what a container does. Here's your identity. This is what you do. You are born this gender. This is how this is. This is what all these things mean. So that's what you're experiencing. And we wish to say, be empty. Like the container. Be the container. Be present in the container is what they say. Be one with it. And then realize you are not it. We say it again. Be one with the container, one with the body, so that you may realize that you are not it. That you are more than it. This does not mean when we say be one with it, we say be. Be, listen to our words, be one. Not be one with the personality self, who we must say has many, many, many personalities. Many fluctuations. Over here, you put on this suit. Over there, with these people, you put on that mask. When you are over here, you put on that costume. I say many. We say just be one. And when you are, you realize that you are not the physical body, but it is a beautiful container. That was just meant to contain this vastness, this what you might call soul or spirit. You might be told you have a purpose, and a soul's purpose, if you would. And we would say yes to this, but also no, in the way that you feel a longing for something. So that life isn't the way that you think it should be, the way that you feel like a calling for something, or you feel like purposeless. You've done all the vacations, all the things, and you're still left feeling hollow. You've got the degrees on your wall, you feel the longing for something. And so a lot of people say, okay, well, what is my soul's purpose? And there's not an issue with this, but the issue with this is when you look at this through, look through, your five senses, your eyes. Society tells me I must have a purpose, and this is what it is. So when you get lost in thoughts, well, I took these courses, then I took these courses and these courses, and I don't know what to do with these courses, or maybe I should take another course. I just don't know what to do. But I have a purpose. But what is my purpose? I don't know. And then there becomes more confusion. You see, when you try to find the soul's purpose, and you try to find your divine purpose through these five senses, through what society has told you, you then, feel confused. You feel overwhelmed with so many choices. Who am I? And we say, who are you not? And you are everything and everyone. And this is the issue. But when you be, and you be one. So how do you be one? You just be. And in being, present, you see, you feel, you experience the being that you are. And when you experience the being that you are, you know that you are not the container. And you can appreciate the container because there is no judgment in the being. So when you be and you are present to experience the beingness that you are, there is no judgment here. And the only judgment comes from identification with all that's been put inside the container. I am the contents of the container, and I am the container itself. So of course you get upset when the container wears out, as plastic does. And and they say it two ways. As plastic does wear down. They're showing me like a water bottle and like that. And eroding and degrading, and being squished and recycled. And as this container, water, changes, of course you're upset because you thought you were the container. And so of course you're upset. You're upset with the changes, and upset that the fact that the container may no longer be here because you identify yourself with the container. And you don't like the way the container changes as it transforms, recycles, and so of course, in your attachment to this, you find much confusion, and much unhappiness. But when you be, there is no judgment about the recycling. There is no judgment about the transformation. There is no judgment about the wrinkles. Because you see that it is all part of a cycle. And it's a recycling cycle. A recycling cycle. So I think they're telling me, yes, it goes around. The issue we have here is that you believe there is a beginning and an end, and you always wish to contain yourself within this. And we say be free, because you are an ongoing manifestation. Soul's purpose. So when you be, you may know, and when you be and you are present to the beingness that you are, this your soul's purpose, and so they're saying your soul's purpose, but they say this is correct, but also not at the same time. Because they don't want you to be attached to this idea of like clinging to this idea that it's like my soul, my. And it's because they say still it's one. And it's one individuated, or one manifest, but still part of a whole. And the purpose of the manifestation, although there are many purposes to the manifestation, the one overarching purpose is of the realization of one, is coming home to one, and the realization of this. So yes, we will say, when you be present for the beingness that you are, and you realize the beingness that you are, and you realize that your beingness is not yours, it's the beingness of all, in this unity, from this state, you then manifest what is meant to be manifest, not through your intellect, although you might use intellect, but when you use intellect through this state, it will not be the same way you use intellect now. Now you use intellect according to the small self and to all the ideas and beliefs. When you utilize intellect, it will be completely different, because it will no longer be attached to all these ideas and beliefs. It will be informed through truth. Right now, your intellect is informed through media. It's informed through society and beliefs and ideas. It's informed through so many different things that are not in truth. Even if they hold a smidgen of truth, they are still weighed down with other things that are not in truth. And so when you are able to be present, you naturally raise your vibration in the realization of your beingness, or on your way to, yes, because say you sit to be present, you could stand, but they say, just for this example, say you sit to be present, and in being present, and no longer resisting what is, and so rising above. What is rising? It is your vibration rising, so as you let go of or dissolve all these ideas and beliefs. The more you become present, the more that these ideas and beliefs drop away from you. Why? Because when you are present, you are timeless. The only thing that keeps you bound to time now is your insistence upon it, and your relationship to it. But time doesn't exist in these ways, or at all, and you use it as a marker, because you have all collectively agreed to use it as a marker for convenience. But even though you do as such, it does not exist in this way. And when you step into this state, you become timeless. So the demands that you believe or you perceive that you have now no longer exist when you when you are in connection with, or you realize the beingness that you are, and the beingness that all is. This is a very expansive state, where all things are possible, like the empty container. You now go back to your natural state of empty container, where now all things can be possible. And what's going to be filled in the container is not something that's going to be locked up, zip-locked up, and shoved in the fridge, or shoved in the cold storage, or the winter storage, or the summer storage, or whatever, the garage. It's not going to be something that's going to be shoved away. It's going to be a free-flowing. Is free-flowing. The container, is just a container for this free-flowing energy, to continually manifest, so that you hold on to nothing. You hold on to no ideas, concepts, and beliefs, and you don't believe yourself to be the plum pudding inside the container anymore. You just allow the free flow of energy in the divine. So if you have the idea to do something, it is informed through this now. And in being informed through this divinity, the actions that are taken in this state are one of for all. One of for one. one of for unity. You take the actions of unity, not just what can I get, not how people can perceive me, how I can be right, how my ideas can be right, how I can make you wrong. And none of this exists here. You see, this is the rebirth. And you talk about new earth in the fifth dimension. This is the rebirth and the portal, if you would, into this dimension. You must be willing to empty the container and to allow the container to remain as such. It doesn't mean that into the container doesn't come some plum pudding. Plum pudding may come in there and you may enjoy it. You may love it in it. You may revel in it. Take a great pleasure in it. However, you are no longer attached to whether it stays or whether it goes, whether it comes again or never comes again. You see it, you experience it as a temporary manifestation of divinity in which you were one with. And you were one with. I just need a little more information here because you're giving me a feeling that I need more information about. You are one with this because you are one with all. So you are one with everything. So you never feel like the plum pudding is gone because you're always connected to it. You don't need to grasp at it. You're always connected to it. You're one with it. You realize this. Things come and things go. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy a human experience. It means you enjoy it even more because you don't have the same attachments and sadness that comes along with not getting what you want, having what you want and being afraid that it's going to be taken away from you, being afraid you're not going to have enough of it, being afraid of your wrinkles, being afraid of your body, being afraid of what society, like everything, what society is going to say. You no longer fear this. And we understand that you live in a world where fear is very prominent and widespread and agreed to. And so there is this feeling of a lack of safety and a lack of safety to express. We say, yes, you experience that. We don't make it a less than experience. We do also say, though, that what we are sharing today is an experience that may be had by you and others, and is being had by others. They're just not thinking of it in Tupperware containers with plum pudding. And this is the way we say it today. And I said, because we wish to relate to people through where you are right now, through language that you may understand and may be relatable to. To you. And when it is not relatable to you, we bring the tone, we bring the vibration. Dear one, don't worry. You may know this. I know this. Know this. It permeates all of you. The you that you call you and the you that you actually are. Both. Humanity must be reborn now. And it's a rebirth, and this is happening and will continue to happen. And how does it happen? The portal. The same way, and they want to say this, so I'm going to say it because this is how they're showing it to me, like a womb. And portal to life, and birth to life, and they're showing it to me like this, and this is like us. This is the portal, and the portal is a frequency. The portal is a beingness, just like that baby, that is just being until you come along and attach a bunch of ideas and beliefs and concepts that you believe are important, that baby should know and that baby should do, and the milestones of you should know your name and I am this and I am that. And they say, We understand that you think that this is very important, and some of you might be outraged and say, well, how could this possibly be? Of course we need to give a name. Of course we need to do this. And we say, yes, in this manifestation that you are currently in you use name to utilize who you are. And you may do this. And also, at the same time, it is the teaching of our children that they are not their names, that they may only play with these toys because of this gender, that they may only express in these ways because of the past. It is, and we're not saying anything about tradition, but we are, because it's continually passed down and recycled. And we are not saying good or bad, but we are saying attachment to it. And your attachment to it, does it bring in guilt? Does it bring in this idea of this is who I am? So I am this culture, I am this religion, so therefore I do like this. You may do as you wish, always. However, again, please just consider, if you like, asking yourself, they're going to say two things. Asking yourself, how do I feel when I continue to do these things over and over again? Do I feel like ashamed or guilt if I don't carry on the tradition? Do I feel that I will hurt other people's feelings if I don't show up and bring the jello to the potluck that I always brought? As you are changing and evolving, things are no longer in alignment, but are you still carrying guilt and shame when you no longer wish to show up in the ways that you used to show up? Do you feel afraid that if you don't show up in these ways that you won't have friends, you won't have people, family members, you won't find love, because you're not conforming, but you can't conform anymore. It's just, you can't. You can, but it's so heavy. So you were just meant to be the purity of the container. Not all the heavy stuff on top of it. So you may practice as you like. You may do your traditions as you wish. Just ask yourself, is this how I know who I am? Is this what gives me worth? Is this what gives me meaning? And if it is what gives you worth and meaning, we do not say that this is wrong. We say, though, that then if you are insistent upon always getting your worth and meaning through these things, then you will always feel this disappointment and these feelings of confusion. And as we said before, like, what's my soul's purpose? It's because you're looking at it through this lens. When you look at it through this lens, it always feels confusing. Why? Because you're looking at it and using your intellect, and you're trying to analyze and sort through like a bunch of, I'm asking for another word, and they say no, they want to use this word. You're sorting through a bunch of garbage. And I didn't want to use this word because I feel it's offensive. And they say, well, that's your meaning, Diana. But you're missing our message. Because it's not about offending it. It's about, let's take a look at your mind. What are the thoughts that are just being recycled? And the same garbage, they're using these words, a garbage that is being cycled on your news and social media, and it's all recycled around. And then, as we have spoken before, it is because you are at that frequency. Thoughts are a frequency, so some of the thoughts that you are having, they're not yours. Actually, now they're saying a majority of the thoughts you're having, they're not yours, and the ones that are yours are not the you that you think. So what they say by that is, most of the thoughts that you're having are not yours. Actually, they're really not your thoughts. You believe them to be your thoughts and you hold on to them because you experience them you say, well, this is my memory. It's not Joe's memory. It's my memory. They say yes, but also it is when you say my memory, you say me, the container full of leftovers. This is the me. Full of, even if you don't want to use leftovers, even if you feel offended by that and you're like, well, I'm going to cook a whole brand new meal and I'm going to put it in this container. I mean, I am not going to leftovers anymore. I am cooking. I'm getting like the fanciest, thickest, home cooking book you can imagine. I'm making a whole new meal and now I'm putting it in the container. Same game. And same thing. And it doesn't matter. Because as you wish to do this, you just keep yourself heavy. And if you wish to relate to yourself in these ways, you may do it, but it will preclude you from knowing the truth of who you are. And when you are willing to be present, and willing to just be, we understand that this is challenging because you've all been told you need to be something. But when you are willing to be, what you will be, will be light as air. And will, if you choose to do the traditions, you no longer do them with the same guilt and the same shame. You no longer do them with the same feelings of importance, like this is who I am because I practice this, I now relate to myself as this, or this is what my religion or my culture does, this is how we eat, or this is how we pray, or this is how we be, this is what we wear, however it is. You no longer believe that to be you. You know who you are and what you are. And then you may enjoy the fruits of life. You may enjoy the manifest plane. And you may decide you're going to do whatever with your traditions, however that's going to be. You might put plum pudding in your container, as we said, but you do not think it's you. You see, you might practice the traditions, but you realize you are much more than the traditions. And we will say that in this realization, of beingness, the beingness that you are, and in this realization of this, you are raised. Your vibrational frequency is raised, and the sights that you see before you, things that you used to deem scary, ugly, horrible, you experience them with a smile. It's hard to believe. There's no sugarcoating needed here. It's just the inner seeing. And the inner seeing now informs the five senses. The inner seeing now informs your eyes and your thoughts. Instead of you being lost in the thoughts that have the heavy vibration because they're so laden with beliefs and systems, and that those thoughts they are not you. They are just energy forms. You don't own it. You don't own it. Now, we do not wish to hurt people's feelings when we say this, but you do not also own your memories. But you wish to claim ownership to them. And we understand this because some of the things or people that you have encountered, you wish to hold them very near and dear. And so you wish to hold them in your memory banks for this reason. And you may do this. And we also wish to say that you can also do something else. So yes, you can hold your memories near and dear. You can hold your loved ones near and dear through your memories. Yes, you can. You can also hold them near and dear in the same way as we have talked about through this flow, that you can be informed in your beingness. You are, when you be, you be one. So when you are in this beingness state, you come to realize you are one. So with everything. That includes the loved ones. That includes like ancestral lines. You're one with everything. So while you could hold someone in your memory, or something in your memory that brings about a positive feeling, yep, you can do this. It's wonderful. Do it as you like. You can also be and experience, that you could experience the same connection and bliss and happiness, without the memory. For those that are worried that if they don't keep a memory alive, there's a lot of sadness here. I'm not sure who this message is for. For those that feel that without the memory, that their loved ones will be gone. No, your loved ones are here and they're here with you now and can be experienced in this beingness state. Yes, you can connect through memory. We don't say anything's wrong with this, but we do say you can connect directly here. In beingness, you are connected to all. And the love, because it's no longer, the love is no longer contained by the container. And then the love is no longer contained by the container, and the love is no longer diminished by all the plum puddings, and they're showing me now bread puddings, rice puddings, all the heavy things. It's free. It's free for you to know it, or to know that loved one in a deeper way. Now they're going to talk about parents or loved ones in which there was, this is so hot. Parents or their loved ones that are where there has been like a discord, or where you are no longer talking to someone in your family, or you're no longer talking to like a friend, someone in your family, or someone has passed and then you didn't have like final like communication with them, like there wasn't like a feeling of like what you would call a closure. They laugh because there's no closure. But that's another message. They wish to bring this in now. For those who experience this, like a disconnection from another human, a disconnection through or you have decided that you're no longer going to talk to somebody in your life for whatever reason that is, or somebody is not talking to you in your life and you wish to talk to them, but they don't want to talk to you. You may connect with their higher self. Your higher self and their higher self are connected. I see. So through this, a human form, you see there is a disconnection, right? You are always disconnecting from each other, separating from each other. You were born in separation. You think that you are separate. You were told you were separate. So you have never been separate from anyone, and you never will be separate from anyone. So if you're trying to outrun someone, no, you can't do that. Sure, you can create your boundaries, or you could realize your a likeness, in which the idea and the need for boundaries will change. altogether is changing, will change, is changed, is actually not even a thing in a higher vibrational frequency. But you may have your boundaries as you like. So what we do say is, for those that are having this experience of a disconnect with another person, whatever way this manifests for you, you are not separate. You may relate to them and with them. Your higher self, their higher self is one higher self. Please understand this. It's not like my higher self and your higher self and their higher self. It's one higher self. And when you realize this, you realize you are all, you can connect with all. All through being, and through your realization of the beingness that you are. And you might have been told that this is very hard for you, and maybe it's for some people and not for others, and we say no. So we say you are capable of this should you wish it. And I'm just going to check in here now for a moment to see where the guides want to go, if anywhere else. We should take a moment of clearing now. Clearing the slate, if you would, clearing the plate, if you would. They say, they laugh. That's what they did, clearing the container. We do now. You say yes, and we say yes. Bekete ashi awata ishi akarato eme e koetekabete keresu ia pakatasa ichi awakarasoti ashikia wokto asukuriya pakarasa. So they're just clearing and harmonizing with you. And I asked them why they didn't harmonize at the beginning, because normally they like to do that. And they said it didn't need it today. And they told me to stop being attached to things always being the same. I love when they call me out. So now they want to do a little bit of a clearing and harmonization with you. They will speak again. If you say yes, we say yes, and we do now clearing to create the optimal vibrational frequency. Otia pakiri su tikira so that the previous message ayakoria takarasa may be integrated by you, known by you, anasike known by you, anayatakaraya so aikarasukuto atakara beyond concepts, ukitiayasho. Your heart, our heart, one heartbeat. You say yes, we say yes. Yes, yes, yes. Korea bayasho. Ay kutukia bakia sukutika brakatishi ala takroba ketateshi abukoto. Ekatakotika brakase kurse atakarso bekata sekere abrake. Breke atoroy barakase abrakate rakatare tare tare kroya paish. Oktare she akrotar korbakashi. Who atakarse who atakasu who aktasu who aktasu who. Hikatoru, aikatoru, mikti awatoshia, brikia, nakara, tukia, makatikio, pakate, e a ketasoe, bakasobrekata, barkasi, et garawate garesi. Hikutukushi awa, kore. Hasakarayete ashakara. Okay, atikere apakarese atasayata sokorose kere tekerese atakarasa takarase atakarasa. Dear one, Anasaya Karasa, this rebirth, if you would, Sakarasa Karasa, being reborn, if you like, Arasa, this idea of Sakara, a clean slate, a newborn child, Sakuru, a baby without an identity, without a cause, without a picket line, without a Parishia Karasa, something to fight for, without Sakarasa, these tethers to you are this, you are that, Karasa, to what gives meaning, and the realization that you are meaningful all on its own, so full actually without all these other trivial ways of knowing yourself. I mean, you could know, you can do this. They say, so we say they're trivial, so we realize you don't think that they're trivial, and it's not that we want to diminish them, but we say that it's so trivial to how beautiful and vast you are, how amazing you are. It's like when you realize this, when you start to realize your beingness, and you start to realize the beingness of all, it's almost laughable. And it's like, but not like you're laughing at something, but like you're like, wow, okay, like it's just like we spoke before in a previous message, like I've been duped, I've been fooled. It's like, oh, okay, like I didn't realize, like I was trying to play, they're using their previous message about the chessboard. I was trying to play chess on this board when I didn't realize I could like fly. And I didn't even need any of this. And it's because there's all this. So why play this when I could be this? Like, it's almost like laughable. And this is what we wish you to know. The freedom. To be reborn and the portal for this birth, this rebirth, if you like. As some of you might think of it like you are moving to the fifth dimension, or you are moving to a higher dimension. We would say as you are being reborn into it. It's a rebirth into it because it is a re-knowing and a reassociation with what is true that lifts your vibration, that allows the sights that you see before you and your experience to be lifted. It is not like you are packing your bags and going on a trip to the new earth, Anasiya Karasa. It is a lifting. It is a lifting. It's a lifting. It's a lifting. Anasiya Karasa, it's a lifting. And it's a vibrational frequency. Anasiya Karasiya Tokoso, in which, as we have spoken before, the things that you see now before you that are manifest now are in a certain agreement and they're in a certain vibration. Like when we have talked before about the piano, in the third octave or third dimension, there's not something wrong with it, but when you play here, you can only play Anasikarasa within a certain range. When you go to the fifth octave in a sikirasa, you cannot play the same. You could play a similar song, but it will not sound the same. When you're in the fourth octave, you can try playing the same song, but it will not sound the same as it did in the third octave. And then you ask yourself, why am I still trying to play that song? Because now I can do something completely different. Kind of like this, so we use it to say that it is a lifting, it is a tone, it is a frequency that is lifting, and it is you. You are lifting, your vibrational frequency of the container. And the container itself, we must say, is becoming more transparent, more translucent, and lighter. More transparent, more translucent, and lighter. Your species is evolving. to a lighter, anasaya koroso brighter, anasaya tikirasaya chukuru body, ayaturu kursukuru as a brighter, anasikoroso more translucent, iokori keasakia koroso itikirasa like anisio tukrese the light of the sun, iatoya sekanasaya tikara, anasukurasa, you may know you are one with it through the translucence. Through the thinning of the veil, through the lightening of the physical form, your container can communicate. Right now, your container communicates in a certain frequency. Soon and now and soon, because now it is changing, and it will continue to change. And as it changes, you will be able to communicate. Your form communicates in such a way so that it is immediate. Right now, things are being filtered through senses and through thoughts and the mind. Soon you are in touch with one mind, one thought stream, one consciousness. And information flows and in and out through your body, your physical form. In this translucent light body. How could I say it's a light body? How could I say it's a light body? A light body, 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 a light body. Okay, take it a sukuta chibakase, take a robakata sekere, it communicates with other bodies. Ayikuri apaya karate eshi. Oh, I could say atakarasa ikorotate chibakata say atakarasa. Now you pick up the telephone to communicate. Soon you will never need to do this again. Now you need to use your mouth to communicate and speak words. Soon you will never need to speak words like this again. You may communicate through other means. Bodies can communicate with other bodies. Bodies can take form. No form, no form, no form. As they wish, as they need. As they move through different dimensions. Bodies may come and go. You may take a body. Then you may have no body. As you need, as you need, as you need, as you need, as you need. You can do this. When you raise, the vibration raises. So when your vibration raises, when you realize who you are, what all is, you may communicate in new ways that we might say are actually original ways or old ways. You may take a form. You may release your form and then retake it again. As needed. The same way that spirit might take a form so that you could see spirit, or you could see what you might call your spiritual guide, or if you saw an E.T., some of us can put on the suit, if you would, for you. We say appear like this for you, because this is what you know. This is what's familiar. But when you move past what you know with your intellect and what's familiar, then you will know Sikara all Anasia Karasa, and you will not need to Sinakarasa, or we would not need to appear to you in this way. Sikara, things will not need to appear to you in this way because you will no longer require them as ways of knowing. Hesiya Karasa, you will be able to know Anasakara, internal knowing, without all the ways that you do now, without the identifiers that you have now. Ia Kara Soe Kare Ataya Karosoti Awai Kara Yikare Shoki Amakasi Ishi Awakatoso Asakara Hiyakarasi Isikia Sakara. Huasakara, you are changing. Ayakara, your body is changing. Sakarasa, your physical form is changing. Atikea parkoso, so. Okay, let's check in here. Hatiakarasa, tokia bakasakarasa, sakara. Asayata, sakara, love. Any atikara, so. Okay, iakoroti asai shiawakai atoroko asetakare ata esanokori biki atata sai. So, and they're sending you love. Anasia karasa karasa. Sarakarasa korote amakara se atai shiawakarata esokorai. And then they're bringing through a vibrational frequency now so that their message, and they're hugging. I was confused. They're hugging me. So because it's like a soothing because they know that there's certain things that I don't want to say, and that's like whatever they said earlier that I had resistance to, and that I have to move far back. And when they bring through messages that I would like normally question or resist, so they're like thanking me for that, and they're hugging you. And now they're bringing through an energy to seal this transmission today. And it says, so it may be known by you. And when we say known by you, we always mean this internal knowing by the truth of who you are, not an intellectual knowing by the being that you think you are. And we bring this now. So if you say yes, we say yes, we harmonize now, and so that you may know this internal knowing. And we bring through the vibration of truth to match the vibration of truth that you are. You let this expand through you. As we said previously, we wish to say again, we're not bringing it to you. We are bringing it. You can think of it towards you. And you bring yours towards us. And in this, we remember that we are one. It's a vibrational match. And we do this now. You can feel it, you can sense it. If you like to envision it, you can. Whatever is intuitively guided for you. Dear ones, please understand, when we say what is intuitively guided to you, please do not get attached to one way of doing things. Always allow yourself to be intuitively guided. Please, be intuitively guided. If today we hug and tomorrow we don't, do not be attached to this. If today you like peas and tomorrow you don't, do not be attached to this. If today your intuition tells you this and tomorrow it doesn't, do not be attached to this. And be in flow, 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 flow, be in flow. Like that that empty container, all can come through. All can come through to you. Everything that you need can come through without your attachment, without your story. And therefore you may express the divine that you are. This empty container that is actually full of potential is going to be realized by you now. And now. And because there is no time. And the time is now. If there was a time, it would be right now. Ina barkatsa bekatsa tasakaro torokote kabakatsa sakata hiktor kabekta tektor kabekta toto brakta toto brakta hiktor brakta to brakta daraj brakta torokata korrekta hiktor brakta secretary she wakata sakar barkata sakshakar barkata say show. And so it is. Dear ones, we are so grateful, overjoyed, and elated. They're just sending you joy. And they're saying the joy that they are is the joy that you are. And it's like when you high five someone, it's like they're high fiving you joy. And it's not really a high five. It's because they don't have a way of explaining this. It's like an energetic. Your joy, their joy, my joy. It's all one joy. And they're like putting this joy or connecting with you with this joy, so with us. So you may remember that you are free. Wow. And when they said they were free, my arms were so light. It was like I didn't even have them. It was like they weren't even here. And so because they say to me that you're here and you're also not here, and because you're everywhere, and you are free. And okay. Thank you so much to the guides, as always. It's always their pleasure and their privilege. And they say, go be free. They show this to me in two ways. One, it's the realization that you have always been free. And two, they're showing it to me like skipping ropes and bubbles and things from like my childhood, like go sit on a swing and be free. And it's like go like your childlike nature. Yes, like a rebirth. And don't take things in your container and keep them there and shove them in the fridge and leave them rotten and spoiling. Just because you think that you are plum pudding, because you're not. You're not. And so they say it like that. Like, go be free. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing in this message with me today and this journey with me in today. And I appreciate you so much. So thank you so much for this. And as always, I am sending you so much love. Thank you.